Okay, so now we're ready to start the boat. It has keys like a car, so it's pretty easy. So Brett, let's fire it up. All right, so you gotta kind of hold it in the on switch until you hear the engine fire up, and you'll be good to go. And then we'll shut up our annoying depth finder. Okay, so now the engine's on. We're currently in neutral, which means the transmission stalk is straight up. You can also see the letters there.
See front, right, front, neutral, reverse, pretty straightforward.
So obviously we'll want to go into neutral. Brett, let's show her the little red lever you have to pull. So when you're changing gears, you'll pull up on this lever and then push the stalk either forward or backward, depending on what direction you want to go. So we want to reverse out of the canopy here. So we're going to pull up on the lever, click it in reverse, and immediately you'll feel the boat start to go. Okay, so it drives kind of like a car. So you turn the steering wheel the opposite way, it'll back out kind of like a car. You have to watch out for both that raft and the neighbor's trampoline raft as you back out of the canopy. Let's get rid of the depth finder. Yep, sorry about that. Yep. Shut up. Shut up.
All right, I'm going in deeper water here.
All right.
There we go.
So as you can see now, we are in drive, or forward. And if you just click it just into forward, you'll just be at like a very slow cruising speed. So the prop is turning, but you're not going very fast. If you want to pull someone and you want to get the slack out of the rope, you just barely click it into forward, and that's how you'll get the slack out of the rope. This is also the speed you'll want to go when you dock the boat, which we'll talk about later. Now, let's talk about how to accelerate and how to plane the boat. So when you plane the boat, you basically have to get the boat up at a speed such that the front of the boat will plane and you can actually see forward. So Brett, let's start accelerating and show them what that's like.
Full send?
Well, you don't want to do full send. You want to show them what it's like when it's not planed first.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so here we go. So you can see from the driver perspective, you can't see anything. So you have to really have on the gas, and then as you can see, the front of the boat will drop down, and then you can see.
All right, so when you're driving the boat, you're gonna want to keep the cruising speed probably usually under 35 miles an hour. You're not really going to have a need to go any faster than that. Right now I'm doing about 25, which is kind of on the lower end of pulling somebody. So this is kind of what it would be like when you're pulling somebody, where you go up, up to 35. I wouldn't go any higher than that. Now, you'll also, as you're driving, if you want to go faster or slower, you can gradually adjust the throttle so that it can go faster this way or go slower this way. And again, that's going to be sort of a gradual movement. It's not going to click like when you're changing into a front or reverse gear.
Now you also notice that when you turn the boat, even if you have the throttle set at a certain amount, the boat will naturally slow down as it tries to turn. So as you turn and you want to keep the same speed, the boat will naturally want to slow down. But as you straighten out, sorry about the wind here. As you straighten out, the speed will naturally start to increase to where you were before you started turning. Okay, now if you're out cruising at the lake, you'll notice there are some buoys. I'll try to zoom in here, see if you see that. So when you see buoys like that, it means that the water is very, very shallow and you want to stay as far away from those as you can, because the prop on this boat hangs down quite a bit below the water and you could scrape the propeller on a rock, which is a very costly repair. So when you see those kinds of buoys like that, steer clear. There's one not too far away from Nana's lake house on the left-hand side, and there's a bit more on a very giant sandbar that we'll go to in a second. So these buoys over here that I was just talking about, you look at where we are This is on the left-hand coast. If you were to follow that back from the lake house. So if you follow the left-hand coast, you will eventually see these buoys off to the left, where there's a very shallow area. Okay, so we're coming up on the sandbar. Sorry for the lack of focus here. The sandbar extends literally halfway into the lake. There's 6 or 7 buoys, and you'll want to stay to the left of the last one. It's very, very shallow here. So as we start to decelerate, we'll show you how to do that properly. You want to slowly decelerate so that the water coming back behind the boat doesn't rush up. See how it kind of rushes up like that? If you decelerate slowly like we just did, water won't rush up on the boat. You can avoid some mechanical problems by not having water rush up. So, let's look out here. So that buoy right there is the last one from this sandbar, and you can see they go all the way to the shore. You can literally stand out here, and it's lower than waist level in the middle of the lake. So you want to stay definitely to the left of these buoys if you're going to do a large lake tour. One other thing to keep in mind as you're driving the boat is if you have all 4 of you, a driver and 3 passengers in the back here or in the co-pilot seat, it's going to be very hard for the boat to plane because all the weight will be rearward. It's recommended that 1 or maybe 2 of you go in the front so that the boat can plane easier and you can get up to plane quicker.